Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews, and today we have another of the more recent Mojo Fun figures to take a look at. This is one that was actually pretty hard to get a hold of, because this one continuously was selling out everywhere it went, and I don't know if it was just a lack of the figure, like maybe there just wasn't enough being produced, or if it's just really that popular, but I had a hard time getting this one because every time I would see that it was in stock somewhere and I didn't jump on it immediately, I would wait a few days and then it would be gone. It would just be sold out. So luckily I now have had the chance to acquire this thanks to Everything Dinosaur, and I'm really excited to have it now in my collection. This is another one of those instances where it's just so impressive how much Mojo Fun has improved, and I would say that this is easily another of their best figures. In the last 3 to 4 years, they have without question improved drastically to the point where every release that comes out is what I would consider one of their best figures. So definitely headed in the right direction. Can't wait to see what they keep doing when it comes to their prehistoric animals, but I'm super psyched to take a look at this one right now, so let's jump to that closer look and check out our Woolly Mammoth. So, starting up here at the head sculpt of our mammoth, you can straight away see we've got quite a bit of life in this as far as the pose goes. You can see that the trunk is up in a very cool looking position. You can see that we've also got the mouth open, so clearly our mammoth is definitely showing some life as far as the model goes, clearly letting out some sort of a vocalization, I would think. Or maybe it's just about to grab something with its trunk and then pull it up into its mouth to eat. I'm not too sure, but it looks really good. And you can see as far as the actual sculpt and detail goes, there's some beautiful fur detail that you can see through the course of the head sculpt here of the mammoth. And another thing that you might take notice to if you had watched my review of their woolly rhino is the fact that this has a similar sort of a satin shine to it. And I'm a little unsure about it on this one. I really did like it on the woolly rhino. I don't know if I'm a huge fan of it here on the mammoth. I mean, it looks pretty good. Definitely makes the figure stand out. There's no doubt about that. But I don't know what it is about this one. Might just be a little too shiny for my taste. But you can see again, we've got a really nicely sculpted eye. The detail there around the eye also looks great, as we have quite a bit of creasing and wrinkling. You can also see the eye is painted with a very nice glossy black. We've got the inside of the ear sculpted out and also painted with that nice black, and then you can see that there's a nice brownish dry brushing that's been applied to a large portion here of the face, also leading out into the trunk there of our mammoth. You can see some nice creasing there as you move out the length of the trunk. The coloration does darken again here on the top of the head. The little hump on the top of the head of our mammoth definitely has a very dark tone up there, a black tone. And again, everything looks pretty good. You can also see the inside of the mouth looks nice as far as the sculpting goes. You can see the tongue there on the inside of the mouth painted with a nice pinkish tone. The tusks also look nice. They have, of course, that nice ivory tone. And you can see again that we have some nice fine detail within the tusks, as we have some cracks and crevices out there. As you move back here into the body, you can see the fur starts to get really shaggy and very impressive. Again, there's a lot of waviness to the fur, a lot of life added to the model, which is something that I saw on the woolly rhino as well, which I think is a nice touch, something you like to see. And again, in similar style to the woolly rhino, we have that same type of paintwork where we have that really dark brown, and then they've just basically dry brushed out a lot of the fur detail with a lighter brown, and it works nicely again here for this mammoth. As you lead down, you can see the fur completely change in style, as we have the really long wavy fur up there. We have much finer fur, still kind of shaggy and scruffy, but when you look up here in comparison to that, it's definitely finer looking fur. As you lead down the course of the front leg, you can actually see kind of something that you see all the time on elephants, where you can kind of see the skin and stuff, but you can make out the bone structure and everything underneath the skin, so it's kind of like saggy skin. I think that's a pretty cool touch, very reminiscent again to modern elephants, so I really do like that. And I just now realized that I still have the tag on over there. I'll have to pull that off there in a minute. But you can see the mammoth is about to take a step as the front leg is picking up off of the ground. Nice bend there in the wrist as it does so, and then as you lead down into the foot sculpt looks really nice. The nails are painted, but they're painted with a black, so they kind of blend with the foot because the foot as a whole has a dark coloration to it, but it is nice to see that there is definitely some paintwork there on the nails. As you lead back up into the stomach, you again have some of that similar fur to what we see moving down the course of the leg before returning back to that kind of shaggier, kind of, longer, like scruffy fur that we have here in the lower part of the stomach leading to the underside. And as we lead back up, you can see the hip bone here. Again, more of that really nice wavy fur on the top of the mammoth. You can really pick out some muscle definition as you move down the course of the leg. This leg is really kind of standing steadfast, like really extended, so you would definitely expect to see some tensing in that leg. So that's nicely done as well. You can also see that we've got the foot sculpt again looking really good. The nails again looking really nice with that black tone that we have for them. As we lead back here, you can see we've got a nicely sculpted tail, and yet again the tip of the tail here has a nice dark black tone to it. So again, really nice looking. Definitely helps that little tip of the tail to stand out. And then as we lead back here to the opposing side of the mammoth, you're not going to see a whole lot of difference, but definitely a little bit. The mammoth has its head turned slightly to its right, as the trunk also heads in that direction. So you can see a slight turn away from us on this side as far as the head sculpt of the mammoth goes. Very consistent paintwork over here, though. You can see the eye area entirely is kind of circled with a dark tone there as well, just like you see for the inside of the ear, something I didn't mention before. We do have the, again, nice glossy black eye, but the entire eye socket area is kind of painted with a black. And then as you lead back here, you can again see the long wavy fur here moving along the back of the mammoth. Again, you can see this leg also is definitely going to be tensing, and you can definitely see that all the way up into the shoulder and everything, because the front half of the mammoth currently is being supported fully by this leg, as this leg is picking up off the ground. So you would definitely see some tensing in that leg, because that's a very, very strong leg to be holding up that animal. Let's pull this off really quick, just get that out of here and remove that. Sometimes I keep the tags on them, sometimes I'm not a big fan of them, so we'll just get that out of there. But you can see, again, the foot sculpt looks really nice. Again, the nails look really nice as you lead back up into the stomach. This area looks almost the same as what we had seen on the initial side. Nice variation, again, of the lighter and darker shades of browns as you move through. And the leg, the rear leg here, is kind of trailing, so it's not too far off from what we see on the opposing side, but you don't see as much tensing or anything because the leg looks like it's about to pick up off of the ground, so you really probably wouldn't see a whole lot of tensing over there. And then as you look up here in the back, again, you've got the nice wavy fur here on the underside. We also have some more really nice looking fur detail moving along the underside of the mammoth as you lead up into the neck and throat region. But that's actually a really beautiful mammoth. Definitely, again, one of Mojo Fun's best figures. So lately, over the last few years, they've really been pumping out some incredible stuff, and I'm really happy to finally start getting caught back up on the Mojo Fun line. As far as a size goes, if we go from the tail to the tip of the trunk, you are looking at a little under, actually I'd say right about at 8 1/4 inches or 21 centimeters, and the highest point would be the top of the head. That is at just shy of 5 inches or around 12.5 centimeters. For a size comparison, there is Mr. Papo T-Rex, the Attack Pack Colovosaurus, and Robert Muldoon from the Mattel Jurassic World toy line next to our Woolly Mammoth, and you can see again, pretty decent size for it. It's not absolutely gigantic by any means, but still decently sized overall, and really quite beautiful overall. Definitely one of my favorite mammoth figures now in my collection. Then we've got the randoms here, as we have the Schleich Diabloceratops, Safari LTDU Tyrannus, and Collect A Deluxe Dimetrodon next to our Mojo Fun Woolly Mammoth for yet another comparison. We've also got a Mattel Velociraptor and Dilophosaurus, again two very popular figures that most people would have to compare here. We've also got the recently released Mojo Fun Woolly Rhino next to their Woolly Mammoth from last year to give you an idea of the size. And again, if you happen to have the Mammoth already, then this will help to give you an idea of the size of the Woolly Rhino. Then we've got the Mojo Fun Dinotherium, and again, another one of those instances where you can see such a drastic improvement when it comes to the overall quality, but still really cool to see that Mojo Fun has focused on prehistoric mammals for a very long time, because there are so few companies that do that. It is nice to see that Mojo Fun has been pumping them out for quite a while, and even though I'm definitely aching to see some dinosaurs released by them in the very near future, I would love to see more prehistoric mammals as well. We've also got another great Woolly Mammoth figure that was released somewhat recently, as we have the TNG version of the Woolly Mammoth, which is equally, I would say, as gorgeous as the Mojo Fun version. And then for one final comparison, because I'm having a little trouble finding all of my mammoths that I have in my collection. I have a ton, but for some reason I don't know where they are currently. We've got the Collect A Dinotherium here next to our Woolly Mammoth again from Mojo Fun, just to give you one more idea here of a size. So this Woolly Mammoth from Mojo Fun, released last year, I believe, is definitely another gorgeous figure. Like, they have just improved leaps and bounds compared to where they used to be. And they are now not only releasing some of their best figures that I've ever seen, I would say some of the best figures in the prehistoric collecting community. Like, I just don't see figures come around all that often with the quality that I'm seeing on these newer Mojo Fun releases. And the fact that they've released so many prehistoric mammals, not a whole lot, but over the last few years, like, we've had at least one every single year. No dinosaurs for quite a few years, and the only other thing they've released would be a coelacanth. And other than that, it's been all prehistoric mammals. So that's pretty impressive on the part of Mojo Fun, because most people usually would try to kind of capitalize on the love and popularity of dinosaurs, whereas Mojo Fun is just giving us really cool prehistoric mammals regardless, and loving that fact. Hopefully they do release some dinosaurs, but I would definitely love to see more prehistoric mammals. Even an update to their Dinotherium would be really cool. But this mammoth looks great. Again, the sculpt is fantastic. Lots of really nice fine detail. The fur detail through the course of the entire model is really nice visually, because you've got variation as you move through, as you have like kind of fluffier, almost like, you know, longer fur on the top, and then you have kind of finer fur moving down, and then you have shaggier kind of hanging fur on the bottom. Just a lot of difference. You can tell that a lot of love and care went into sculpting this mammoth, and on top of that, you just generally have nice fine detail through the entire model, whether you look at the tusks and the cracks and crevices there, or the wrinkles around the eye. It's all super nicely done. Very impressive as a whole. We also have great paintwork on this, yet again giving it a very nice realistic and lifelike look, as we have darker and lighter shades of browns, as well as black coloration throughout, as you have it circling the eye and the top of the head, and a few other areas. Just generally also some nice shading with the black tones that I see throughout the course of the mammoth here and there. So they've done a very good job of painting it and giving the paint job as well a very high quality look. And there's a decent pose for the mammoth as well, as it has the, you know, one leg up. It looks to be maybe about to take a step and potentially letting out a vocalization, or about to grab some vegetation with the trunk to pull into its mouth. Either way, it definitely has some nice life to it. So if you are interested in grabbing yourself one of these, I will include a link in the description to where you can do that on Everything Dinosaur, because that's where I got mine. So make sure you check the link that I will include in the description. Grab this for sure, and also like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next review. Thanks for watching.